All right. I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
No, there have been a lot of issues today. Someone else had internet issues and the wiki was down, so something's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but let's try and give this another shot here.
Okay, thanks.
So, as I was saying, we are going to start with our first exercise. How do I get myself pinned? There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can give this a go. All right. So, first exercise is the single leg balance to reach. So we're going to bring one foot out just like this, and we're going to use our opposite hand to reach forward, touching the toe, popping back up. As you can see, there's a little bit of stability challenge. And coming back up, you want to try and keep that foot as close to the floor as you can without the heel touching the ground. Coming straight back up, trying to keep balance the whole time. As we move through the motion, we're going to hit a good amount of these because we really want to try and challenge that stability. And remember, we're trying to hinge the hip back. So driving the hips back, keeping all of our legs straight. Keeping our hips and shoulders square. One more. And switching sides. Trying to keep those toes and heel in the same spot. Really lowering your chest and your hand all the way through the motion here. Trying to see if you can keep your foot up the whole time. Let's get a few more. Oh, my left side is wobbly. And rest. Good. All right. Next up, we're going to do reverse lunge holds. So I'm going to be standing here at the front of my mat with one leg back. We're going to slowly extend forward. So you see how I'm kind of getting into a single leg inverted hamstring and then slowly coming back into a deep lunge and holding. Coming up, picking that foot up again and returning back to midline. Okay, so now we're switching feet, getting that leg back, bending the knee down and just moving very slowly, controlling this movement and working on all of those little stabilizing muscles that help control our weight. So bringing that heel up, getting it nice and level, and then bending that knee down so we can lower ourselves to the ground. And I'm not bringing that knee down. And I'm giving a nice little hold at the bottom, shifting my weight forward and swinging back to regular. Let's go. A few more here. Nice and easy, getting that chest over the arch of the foot. We'll go one more each side. Nice and slow, really thinking about what muscles are controlling the weight here. Trying to get as little shake as possible. And back up. Good. Okay. Next up, we've got our plank, plank, walkout, and rotation. So we're going to get our hands down to the ground here. You can bend your knees slightly if you need to. But we're gonna walk the hands out. Hop up onto one hand, open up, hold, and rotate down. Switch to the other side, hold, rotate back down, and slowly walk back up. Trying to keep those legs straight as we can. And we're gonna walk back out, doing the opposite side first. So whatever side you ended on is gonna be your first side this time. Rotating up. And back down. Let's get a few more in here. Now, in all of these exercises, we want to move with great control. So I'd recommend going fairly slowly and really thinking about what is controlling the movement, because we're really trying to focus on the stability here. All right, now we're going to get into a side lunge hold. Now this is going to be different than what we did in the beginning where we're moving side to side, because we're going to open up the foot and drive the knee out to the side, holding here for just a few seconds and coming back up. Bringing the foot back in, opening up, driving that foot out to the side, kind of like a warrior pose in yoga. We're going to do one more on this side. And back up. Good. Switching sides, opening up the foot. Extending out, coming up. One more, really getting deep into that lunge. And good. Okay. Next up, we have our quadruped cars. So we're going to get down onto our hands and knees into our quadruped position here. Now from here, we're going to extend one hand out in front, all in front of our head. We're going to twist the hand over, keeping our shoulder pointed down. We're going to rotate the hand back towards our hip, reaching up towards the ceiling, stopping at the hip, and coming back, rotating the hand back in, facing the midline, and coming back down. Switching hands, coming up, rotating the hand outside, keeping those shoulders pulled down away from the ear, stopping at the hip, coming back up, rotating the palm outside and back in towards the middle. Let's go. A few more each side. Nice and easy, really keeping those shoulders packed in towards the hips. And good. All right, next up, we're gonna have our bird dogs, okay? So hands and knees still in this quadruped position. We're gonna extend the hand and opposite hand, opposite leg out. Giving a nice long hold, trying to keep a flat line from toe to fingertip, all the way through the hips and the shoulders, and pressing the ground away with the knee and the planted hand, giving a nice long hold. Really feeling that energetic connection from toe to fingertip. And coming back down. Switching sides. Giving a nice long hold, finding that solid line, and back down. Okay, now we're gonna have plank knee tucks, which is kind of like a bicycle crunch, but in a plank. So we're gonna bring our forearms down, get our knees up, and from here, we're gonna bring our elbow to knee, getting a little bit of rotational work through our plank. Let's go a few more. One more each side, and finish. Good. Next up, we have our lateral pillar bridge, or side plank, as it's more commonly known. So we're gonna get our elbow directly below the shoulder, extend the feet out, hand on the hip, and bringing the hips up towards the ceiling. You can get your hand up above the other shoulder to keep a nice flat line through the back and the chest. You want to get a line straight from the shoulders down through the toes and the heels. Getting a nice hold here. And down, switch sides. Extending the feet out, hips come up. Getting a nice hold, pressing the ground away with the elbow. And down. Good. All right, let's see if we can get one more time through this circuit. We're a little bit short on time due to some internet lagging, but we're going to start with those single leg balance to reaches again. So bringing the toe up, getting on one foot, you're going to reach down, touch the toe, and come back up. If you can't get all the way down to the toe, just try and get as far as you can. Feeling that stretch through the hamstring. Should get some glute activation as well. Really controlling that single leg stability here, trying to grip the ground with your foot and your toes as we're working here. Really find that strong connection from the ground up. Okay, and switch sides. Few more. Keeping that leg straight. And finished. Good. Next up, we've got our reverse lunge holds. We're going to do 3 on each side. Remember to go very slow on these as we lean forward, bend the knee, and drop the foot down. Keeping that knee up off the floor, giving a nice hold. Extending back up, picking the foot up, and returning to standing. Bending the knee, coming down, hold, and coming up, picking up the heel, back to stand. Nice, even, slow pace. Really working, giving our body a chance to really stabilize and move evenly through here. One more each side. And finished. Okay, we're gonna skip through here for the sake of time because I do want to give you guys some stretching. So we're gonna go into our quadruped cars for the shoulder work here, down onto our hands and knees. Getting the hands directly below the shoulders, extending out, palm facing the midline. As it gets up to the shoulder, you rotate over, keeping the shoulder facing down towards the ground and coming back towards the hip. Once you're at the hip, bringing the hand back up, rotating that palm out and flipping over as you come back down. Nice, slow pace. Really getting all of that rotational circumduction and articulation through the shoulder there. We'll go one more on each side. And going into our bird dogs. So hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, extending out into a nice long hold. We'll go twice on each side, so really get some good time on each rep. Pressing the ground away through the knee and the hand. And coming back down. Switching sides. And last one. And down. All right. For the last few minutes here, we're just going to get into a little bit of stretching. So the first one we're going to do is a lunge to hamstring stretch. So getting up into our 90-90 lunge position here, 90 degrees planted down, 90 degrees through the foot. We're going to drive the knee out over the toe into a deep lunge, trying to collapse that hamstring or the back of the leg to the calf, the back of the shin. And then as we get a nice stretch here through the hip flexor, we're going to twist and open up our chest the opposite direction. And driving out, we're going to keep our position here and extend the leg out, bring the toes up towards us, getting a nice long stretch through the back side of the leg. Lowering the chest down to go even further. And coming up and switching sides. Getting into our 90-90. Extending the knee out over the toe, collapsing the hamstring to the calf. Getting a nice big stretch here through the hip flexor. For me, it's the front of my left hip being stretched out as I drop the pelvis down to the floor. And extending the leg back, Dropping the knee down, bringing the toes up and lowering the chest to the knee. Stretching out the backside of the leg. Really try and curl those toes up towards you to fully extend that stretch. And back up. All right, last stretch we're going to do here is the thread the needle. So we've got our hands starting in that quadruped position. We're going to bring one arm underneath the armpit, dropping the shoulder down to the floor, rolling onto that shoulder and pulling the wrist through the shoulder, but staying in the same spot. So that's just to get the stretch. You want to just try and pull that arm into the ground. Coming up and rotating through. Ooh, got a little crack in my back. That was nice. And switching sides. Coming underneath the armpit. Dropping that shoulder down. Stretching through the back. Really pulling that shoulder away from the spine. And coming up, twisting, rotating through. All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping in. I appreciate you coming into our first stability stretch class. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me any feedback about what you thought about the class and how we can continue moving forward, improving this for you guys. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it.